Welcome to Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Your host, V&M General Manager Kevin Jean and Iowa Ranger Pro Staffer Steve Graff will keep you up to date on what's happening on the best lakes in the Arklatex region, with a primary focus on Sam Rayburn and Toledo Bend, two guys who have fished at a high level with Pro-Am experience with ABA, BFLs, Toyota Series, and BASS Opens. Anglers with a wealth of knowledge and willing to share. So pull up a chair, kick back, and see why so many anglers watch Tackle Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tackle Talk Live. I'm Ranger Iowa Pro Staffer Steve Graff, and this gentleman right here to my left, this guy right here with the hat. The hat's not on the microphone today. He's here live and in person. V&M General Manager Kevin Jean, and we got a good show lined up for you today. Something a little different. We're going to kind of venture off our normal path of Sam Rayburn, Toledo Bend. We're going to cover some stuff on that, but Kevin, we're going to kind of head northeast Louisiana today.
It's a place that's about an hour and a half from here.
Yeah.
And Steve, but when there is two 13-pounders caught on the lake that is this close to us, and one weekend, I think it's something you got to talk about. We are still going to cut. We got tournament results from Sam Rayburn. We got high school tournament results from Toledo Bend. We got a lot of upcoming tournaments on both those bodies of water. But when you have two 13-pounders caught, that is, again, an hour and a half away from Natchitoches right here, which is where we're located, probably 2.5 hours at most from Toledo Bend, say Pendleton Bridge.
Right.
But we definitely got to jump into it, see what's going on there. One of the hottest lakes in the country, and it does this every year, though, Steve. Caney does this.
Oh, yeah, Caney's, especially with the grass returning now.
It flies under the radar.
Oh, it does.
For the most part.
Because I think it's the size, and it doesn't get a lot of major tournament pressure.
I don't think the locals want a lot of pressure.
Oh, they really don't. I'm sure they don't. It's kind of like Cane River.
The locals there, we're not talking about Cane River.
Yeah, okay.
The locals there at Caney, they do a good job of keeping it under their hat, and the other hottest lake, O.H. Ivy over in Texas. We all know what O.H. Ivy's doing. There was a 17-pounder caught there last week, but that's a lot of out-of-towners coming to O.H. Ivy, and this blowing it up. Well, somehow Caney stays under the radar, but we're going to put it out there today.
Yeah, and just for all you crappie guys, there's 10 boats on Sibley right now. They're out here in the middle. Yeah. They're in the big hole. So evidently they're biting a little bit again on Sibley. So, but Kevin, this week, it's fixing to change. I'm telling you, it's going
to happen this week.
It's fixing to change. They fixed the pull. There's going to be some bass and crappie up on the bank this weekend.
Every lake from Sam Rayburn, Toledo Bend,
yes,
East Texas, all East Texas, Louisiana, from Shreveport south. This week is going to be the major move. We're in 70 degrees today. We're going to hit 70, 75, I think, Thursday, right here in North Louisiana. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Night times in the upper 40s, 50s.
Yeah. Sam Rayburn this weekend, Bass Champs guys on Saturday, Outlaw Sweet 16 on Sunday.
Yep.
It's going to be a big weekend. Everybody's going to finally get to move up there on the bank and catch a few for sure.
Junk and wine and pitch and flip. So
Bass Master Classic this week.
Yeah, we're going to get to that a little bit later on. I'm telling you, I'm looking forward to this one. I actually looked at the weather forecast a while ago in Greenville, South Carolina. Get ready. They fixed to smoke them over there.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to get to that and a few other things here in just a few minutes. And I also want to thank James Stanfield running our board, doing all the social media. Again, he is the king of social media for this program. So we thank James for all he does and all the hard work he puts in for that. And but today, again, we got a former ULM fishing team member, Blake Alford, is going to be joining us to kind of tell us about the resurgence of Caney, what's going on there. And
local guy, he's been there, lived there. He fishes everything that comes to Caney. They had the media tournament on Sundays where the second 13-pounder was caught, and Blake had third with 23.66.
Wow.
This is an individual tournament. Yeah. He got third with 23.66. So anxious to talk to Blake, kind of hear how it's all going down up there.
Looking forward to that. And then we're going to take a real quick short break, recognize a few of our awesome sponsors that we've got. And when we return, Blake Alford will be joining us with a Caney Lake report. Stay tuned. You're watching Tackle Talk Live.
Toledo Health is a full-service primary and acute care clinic. Nurse practitioners Jarrett Rule and Melissa Vines bring quality health care that's needed and convenient to the area. Whether it's a stomach virus or a hook in your hand, Toledo Healthcare will try and meet all your healthcare needs. Appointments available and walk-ins are always welcome. So the next time you're feeling down at Toledo Bend, stop by Toledo Healthcare, located on Highway 6, just south of Toledo Town, or you can call 318-508-5323. For all your boating needs, check out Shreveport's newest marine dealer, The Boat Shop. Raymond Kidd and his great staff will take care of all your engine repair needs or anything else that needs fixing. A certified Yamaha Mercury dealer, they carry two of the best fishing boats on the market from Sea Arc and Camus. The Boat Shop is never short on trade-ins, as they're always willing and able to make you the best deal possible. Looking for great boat accessories? They're a full support Garment and Minn Kota dealer. So the next time you're in the market for a new or used boat, or maybe you just need to service the boat you have, let the Boat Shop fix you up. To learn more, call 318-402-0399 or go to ShreveportBoatShop.com. The next time you're on I-49 just south of Natchitoches, Louisiana, stop by Cypress Knee Outdoors. A store within a store, Cypress Knee is located inside 3J's 4-Way. Whether you need gas, food, or drinks, they have it. While you're there, check out Cypress Knee Outdoors and pick up whatever hunting or fishing tackle you need. Top name brands like Strike King, Santones, Pro, or the #1 soft plastics made, V&M. On the hunting side, they carry guns from Mossberg, Winchester, and Remington. Plus, they've got a great supply of ammunition. Let John Abram and his staff show you everything Cypress Knee has to offer. Located just 1 mile east of 127 on I-49, or call 318-238-HUNT. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
You're watching Tackle Talk Live. Welcome back to the program, and thank you for tuning us in today. I want to recognize these fine sponsors. This segment's presented by Toledo Health, The Boat Shop, 3J's 4-Way, home of Cypress Knee Outdoors. Can't thank you guys enough. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. And now we're fixing to hop up on the front deck with Blake Alford and get a bird's eye view is exactly what's going on at Caney Lake, and two 13-pounders coming off. Now Blake, me and Kevin both realize that this is probably nothing new to Caney, but there has been a resurgence of Caney Lake in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yes, sir. That grass coming back has really improved the lake, and I'm looking forward to hopefully keeping the grass around.
Probably trying to keep everybody away too. I know how you guys up there at Caney Lake, y'all are a little bit different. Y'all try to keep that under your hat. You don't want a lot of people to know about it. Y'all don't want to see all the out of towners coming, because honestly, it's a pretty small lake. How many acres is that lake, Blake? Do you know off the top of your head?
It's like 5,000 something.
Yeah, it's not a very big lake.
No, it's not. And I think that's why it done. It was perfect lake for you for a Major League Fishing to come in there a couple of weeks ago.
And it did not do well during
the second day it did better, but you're right. The first day was not a great day. The second day they caught a few big ones, but it started. You could tell the lake was coming, and they were there just a little bit too early for that event. But anyway, but Blake, what do you attribute this to? Is it the grass coming back? Is that what's brought the fishing back at Caney?
It's definitely the grass, and like I said, hopefully we can keep the grass in there. But
so
the homeowners, they don't really care for it, but the fishermen, we love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So this past weekend, Sunday actually, was the media bass. It was the individual tournament. And I know you guys had 7 bags over 20 pounds. You yourself got third with 23.66. I mean, y'all whacked them. There's no doubt about that. How was in your opinion, how was the majority of those fish caught? Was it an offshore brush pile deal, which I know goes down there a lot? Was it mostly a grass deal? Or is the fish really making a hard push up? How's the majority of those fish being caught?
In my opinion, I believe the majority of the fish was caught up shallow. I know that's how I caught mine. And my buddy Nick, he finished 4th at like 22.66, I think. Mm-hmm. And he caught his up shallow on the grass too. So
Now, Blake, is this a place right now with all the grass? Is the water clear enough you can really do some good sight fishing over the next week or so?
Yes, sir, it is. It's I believe you can see like 6 foot. It's probably the clearest I've ever seen it.
Wow. So how close are they? I'm just trying to figure out when. I'm a big sight fisherman. I'm trying to figure out when I need to make my trip. How close are they to being on the bed? I mean, with all this temperature and sun this week, would they be on the beds by next week?
I honestly believe they will, because towards the end of the day, Saturday or Sunday, I actually swung up there up shallow, and I've seen a lot of beds, but they're empty because that cold front kind of dropped the water temperature back down. But with this warming trend we got this week, I honestly believe you'll see them on the beds this week.
Blake, if you had to take 3 baits over this next week and a half, 2 weeks, I guess. So what 3 baits will you always have tied on to go to Caney?
From now on, I'll have a chatterbait, a trap, and a Texas rig.
Yeah. Are you throwing a crawl worm? Are you throwing a Cinco? What type of worm are you throwing?
I have a crawl worm tied on.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm like Kevin. I'm a big sight fisherman, so.
Yeah.
So kind of again, and we talked about 2 13-pounders getting weighed. So there was a 13-pounder get caught Sunday in y'all's media bass. Saturday, I seen there was a club event that had a 13 and a 10 weight.
Wow.
And Saturday was miserable.
Yeah, it was. It was cold and rainy.
That was just, and for Caney to do what it's doing, and this, it's just getting better. Am I right, Blake? I mean, this lake is just still on the uprise.
Yes, sir. It definitely is, and I wouldn't be surprised if we end up breaking the record.
What is the record on Caney?
I think it's 1597.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's gonna get broke if that grass stays right.
Yeah,
next year or two, that'll.
Now, Blake, what percentage of the lake would you say it has grass in it? Is it over 50%? I mean, is it less than 30? I mean,
it's over 50%.
Oh, really?
Wow.
And how deep can you find grass on Caney?
Probably about 8 foot. It's probably about the deepest.
Oh, okay.
Right now.
Okay, so shallow running crankbait would do well.
Like 9 foot, but like the thicker grass is usually about 7 or 8 foot.
Yeah, yeah.
Shallower.
Right. And I know you guys catch them there really good post spawn too. When they start working their way out, catch them really, really good. On the point, deep points, brush piles, that kind of thing, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, Blake, it's been a long time since I've been on Caney. I've only been on it one time. That's sad for me to say that, living here in Natchitoches. But how many boat docks? Is it a boat dock lake?
There's boat docks everywhere.
There's boat docks everywhere.
Okay, you can zero in on a boat dock pattern if you can put one together.
Yeah, you can.
Good deal.
Wow.
How many boats? So you had 7 bags over 20 Sunday. How many boats did y'all have Sunday in that tournament?
I believe there was 38 boats.
38. And you had 7 over 20.
20-pound bags.
I mean, there's just...
Wow.
It's happening right now on Caney Lake. There's no doubt about it. And I was just wondering, because I know, man, y'all catch some really, really big bags offshore there. Didn't know if that was kind of still what was going on. It's interesting to hear you say it's a grass deal, mainly for the majority of you guys. I'm sure there's 1 or 2 still catching some off a brush pile here or there out deep. But hearing it's a grass deal, that's it's good to hear. I'm glad for the lake, glad for you guys there, you locals, and hope it can continue to put out them numbers, and hopefully y'all can keep. Hopefully it won't get overpacked on y'all.
Yes, sir.
Blake, how many public boat ramps are there on Caney for those people that never been to Caney? Are there 2, 3?
Public, I think there's 3.
3?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's plenty of room, plenty of places to access the lake and get in the water.
Yes, sir, there is.
All right. Well, good deal. All right, man. Blake, man, we appreciate you, dude. Thanks for the update and a little insight on Caney Lake. I don't know if Kevin's planning on going by himself, but he may have company with him when he makes that trip to Caney.
I will be there at some point next week.
So he may have a partner in the boat with him. So, but anyhow, well, man, hey, we appreciate you, and good luck the rest of the year on your fishing, and continue to do well, and try to catch them. I mean, come on, man, try to catch more than 23 so you can win something.
You got to step up your game, bro.
Yeah, man, you got to step it up.
I know I wasn't going to win with that 23.
All right, Blake. Thank you, bud. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all.
All right. That's former ULM angler Blake Alford, and we appreciate Blake coming on with us and giving us a little update and a little insight as to what's going on at Caney Lake. And again, Kevin, it is shameful for me to admit that I've been on Caney one time in my life, and I live, like you said, an hour, 15 hour, 20 minutes from it. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, it's kind of ridiculous.
And I hate to say it, Steve, I think I've been there 3 times.
Yeah. So, but anyway.
So in that media bass event, again, it was on Sunday. First place with 2888 was Dusty Nome, I think, Nomey. Dusty, I apologize if I'm getting it wrong here. But he had the 13. It was a big bass of 1321. Second place was Chris Patton with 2550. Third place, Blake Alford, 2366. Fourth place, Nick Ledart, 2276. And fifth place was Mark Smith of 2120.
The Dart kid, I do believe that that's a former teammate. His dad's a former teammate of mine, Randall Dart, who's a contractor, I believe, in Monroe. I think that's his son. And
Nick fished for ULM as well.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Good angler, and his dad was a good outdoorsman and a good guy, heck of a baseball player, too, for Northwestern State. So we appreciate the great info there, too, again, by Blake sharing all that. And again, Kevin, I guess because of the size, it just doesn't get the pressure, does it? Or the tournament level
gets the pressure. And again, I've only been there a few times, but I know a lot of guys very well that's been there. But it's got the slot. It's got a slot, which affects a lot of the tournaments coming there. But also the size of the lake. It's not. You can't.
BFL couldn't go there.
You can't put 200 boats on that lake. You can't do it and not be able to fish.
Could you have a 100-boat tournament there?
They have them, but I know it's very crowded.
Right.
Especially, as we get into May and June, it has an awesome offshore bite there. They have some really good road beds and points with brush piles. Everybody asks me about Caney Lake, and the best way I can explain it, it is a miniature Sam Rayburn.
Okay.
It fishes exactly like Sam Rayburn.
Oh,
it's got the grass.
Right.
You got to be throwing the trap this time of year.
Chatterbait.
going down them grass lines. The only difference is it has some boat docks. Has a lot of boat docks, and they get on them from time to time.
Right.
But overall, it is the miniature version of Sam Rayburn grass, and then after the pre-spawn is go out on deep points, road beds, brush piles, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So.
And real quick, I just got this message this morning from Chad Potts, a Bass Champs update. The North Division, the North Region schedule has been changed to April 2nd, April 3rd. They're going to do a back-to-back day Cedar Creek doubleheader to make up for this past weekend, the one they canceled, and due to all the ice and storms coming across North Texas. So April 2nd, April 3rd, all you Bass Champ guys, doubleheader on Cedar Creek is when that'll take place. 2 separate tournaments each day, $20,000 guaranteed first place for both days. So if you're a Bass Champs guy, hey, there's your info right there you need to know. We're going to take another quick break. When we return, we'll have more tournament results, kind of what lies ahead for the month of March on both Toledo BN and Sam Rayburn. You're watching Tackle Talk Live.
Are you looking for the finest custom-built rods ever made? Then look no further than Pride Rods. Fishing rods built to last and made in Montgomery, Texas. Constructed by Mr. Billy Kistler with the finest Gary Loomis North Fork composite blanks available. They offer a complete line of both spinning and casting rods for both fresh and salt water. Pride Rods do more than pass the eye test. They excel in performance as well. Ask your local tackle dealer if they carry Pride Rods and pick one up and try it for yourself. You'll see why so many anglers are using Pride Rods. To learn more, go to priderods.com or call 832-418-6040. The next time you're headed for Toledo Bend or Sam Rayburn, stop by Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle. They have an awesome supply of everything you'll need to catch the big ones. Whether your trip calls for bass fishing, white perch tackle, catfish bait, or the ultimate fighting shiners, Keith's Tackle has you covered. Keith and former Elite Series pro Ben Matsubu also have the latest information on what, how, and where you need to be fishing on Sam Rayburn or the Bend. So for all your tackle needs, check out Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, located just off Highway 21 on the Texas side of Toledo Bend, or call 409-625-0181. The Lakes Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency that has been taking care of Texans' insurance needs for over 25 years, offering auto, homeowners, boat, RV, life, health, and commercial insurance. Owner Clark Moore is a local guide and tournament angler who understands your insurance needs and wants to be your go-to guy for all your insurance needs. For a free quote, give him a call and see why so many Texans trust the Lake Insurance Agency. Located at 805 Southeast Stalling Suite 3, Nacogdoches, Texas, or call 936-205-4467. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
You're watching Tackle Talk Live. Once again, thank you for tuning us in. This second segment is presented by Pride Rods, Keith Toledo Bend Tackle, and the Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches and Broadus, Texas. New location right there in Broadus. And on the Tackle Talk hotline, a guy we were just talking about, one of the 13-pounders. He was listening. He called us and said, "Hey, I'll be glad to tell you about it."
So let's, before we introduce him here, let's kind of break down how this happened. So been trying to get a hold of Dusty all morning, and he's been at work, so we haven't been able to get a hold of him, get in contact. While we're on the interview with Blake, he shoots me a message, say, "Hey, man, I would love to come on and talk about it." So we didn't expect to have him on today, but anytime a guy catches a 13-pounder, we're going to try our best to get him on the show. Luckily, Dusty is here on the phone line with us. Dusty, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Good deal. Man, we just kind of got a Caney Lake fishing report, scouting report breakdown from Blake Alford, kind of telling us what's going on with the lake, so on and so forth. But, man, we would love to hear how a 13-pounder was caught.
I got you. Well, I was fishing a media tournament Sunday. It was a singles tournament. I was pretty wore out from the day before. We were on Claiborne, and we got some bad weather this weekend. Saturday was cold, rainy. It was nasty.
It was nasty.
And I was just about to talk myself out of not going the night before, and a buddy of mine told me, he said, "Dude, go win that thing." So I went out there as soon as I dropped the troll motor. The fish that I found several weeks ago, they were sitting in the belly of a ditch, and I couldn't get them to bite anything. I wasted 8 hours of a tournament on them. Could never get them to bite. Well, as soon as I dropped my troll motor, I noticed them on the side of the ditch on the grass line, and a couple of them were sitting on top of the grass line. And I was like, this is fixing to get ugly. I mean, they look like carp on my 360 and my scope.
Yeah.
And first thing I shot out there was a trap, and I had one slap at it. I don't know how I didn't get a hook in it. And I said, "Man, these fish are too big. I'm going to try and single hook them." So I picked up a chatterbait, threw it in there, got it bogged up in some grass, ripped it free. Bam, he hit it. And I knew it was a big one. The past 3 or 4 years, I've had 1197, a 12.3 year before last, and then this past year I didn't get one, and I've been trying to ease towards that record, 1590 something. But when she hit it, I knew she was a good one. But when I got her in the net, I knew that it was a big fish, and my scales were actually off a pound from the day before. It showed that we had 13 and a half pounds, and we ended up weighing in 14 and a half, and my scales for that fish were 13 and a half. I was like, if my scales are short again, dude, there's no telling what this fish is.
So you're in the boat by yourself.
Right.
That was going to be my question.
Oh, my goodness.
Dude, hey, I had nobody to high five. I couldn't holler. I couldn't scream. It was rough.
Nobody to hug?
No, man. It was 6:50 in the morning. I'm sitting around thinking, who is up on a Sunday morning?
Exactly.
I've got to call somebody.
Up and excited. Yeah.
Well, hey, I'm going to give you my number anytime. Just feel free to call me, because I'm usually up by 5:30 or 6. So.
Number.
Oh, wow.
Celebrate with me. But 2 casts later, I caught a 6, and then all the fish kind of pushed up further off the ditch on top of the grass, and I fired a chatterbait in there, and they were sitting too high off the grass for the chatterbait to really work. So I looked down, and I seen the jerkbait on. It was a 6 to 8 footer, and dude, I sat there and watched it, and she come up there to it, and I paused it, and as soon as I made that next twitch, she lit on it, and she come all the way up to the boat, and I knew it was a good fish. And when she come by the boat, I said, "I got another one. This is another 10 plus." She lunged back around my motor, And when she did, I tried to reach out as far as I could and circle her back around to the left, back into my net. And I was going against the hooks. And, man, when she pulled free, I mean, I was still pumped up. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm looking at
Could you see? Did you ever see the fish? Did you see the?
Oh, yeah.
Was she as almost as big as the one you already had?
Wow. Yep. And there was a couple more down there with her that was just as big, but you're going to think I'm crazy when I say this, but after I missed that fish, every fish that was up on that grass, it's almost like that fish went down there and told the rest of them, hey, get out of here.
No,
there's somebody after us.
No, I've been there. And so when you get a school fired up, especially when you lose a big one, that is one of the worst things that can happen to you, especially if it's a shallower school like the one you're talking about. I've had that happen to me before on Toledo Bend. All of a sudden, they're done. When you lose one, they're done.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And it's just one of those things. I know one of the things with Kentuckys, if you're catching Kentuckys and mixed in with some largemouths, and you throw them Kentuckys back, them suckers will go right back down there and they will quit biting. The largemouth won't always do that, but the Kentuckys will shut down a whole school.
So, So Dusty, when you said you first got there that morning and you scanned, the fish were sitting on top of the grass. How deep?
The ditch was the deepest part of that ditch was probably 10, 11, 12 foot in probably the deepest spot. And on the side of that ditch, it came up to like 7, maybe right at 7 foot. And the grass is, from the winter, is kind of sat it down a lot more towards the surface, towards the ground.
Yeah.
So, you gotta have a heavy bait, or you gotta really go slow to make the grass work for you. But they were when I seen them on that edge, I was like, when they pull up there, it's like,
they're ready to feed.
It's on. But
now, Dusty, obviously forward facing sonar. Are you a Garmin guy, a Lowrance? Which one you got?
I'm a Garmin guy.
You Garmin?
I'm definitely a Garmin guy. Yeah. I kind of got my teeth kicked in last summer a few times, and I'm really good in shallow water, 10 foot or less. But as the fish started moving deeper, it just I mean, you're behind it. I mean,
you're fishing for second if you don't have one.
Certain times of year, especially. Certain times of year.
Yeah. And I just wrote an article on. I do some articles for a internet magazine, and I wrote it on forward-facing sonar because one of the big questions that people that don't fish tournaments or not up on the fishing world, they're like, well, that doesn't even seem ethical. That doesn't even seem right. So I kind of wrote an article about it, and how far electronics has come, but I'm telling you, the forward-facing sonar may be the greatest invention of our era in our lifetime.
Especially for now, as much pressure as these lakes are getting.
Yes.
Right. I agree. That and knowing how to catch them, you can actually see a fish's behavior and know when to leave the fish, or when to try and catch a fish.
I will say too, though, it will hurt you too, because you can sit there and try to catch them and just staring at that live scope and never catch them. It can hurt you.
You can get locked in on it. Yes. You're right.
Yeah.
Right. And we ended up fishing the media teams tournament probably about a month ago, and we found these fish. We won Anglers of the Year last year in the same division. Well, we're off to I was like, we got to get off to a great start here. Yeah. And whenever you go up there and catch 6.5 pounds and you sit on some giants for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Dude, it knocks
tough.
The wind out of you.
Yeah, it does.
It's tough, no doubt about it. Well, there was a 13 and a 10 caught Saturday.
Right.
On that lake. So give me your opinion, being a homegrown Caney boy, will the lake record get broke this year?
If not this year, within the next 2, as long as
the grass.
Exactly.
The grass.
They need to leave it alone.
What's the word on that?
Yeah, what is the word? They're not putting grass carp back in there.
In the 90s, when it was coming up, my grandpa was a big fisherman, and it was grass. They caught them. There was grass everywhere. There was. Look at the top 10.
It's obvious.
Early 90s. They come in, brought the carp in. I helped out as much as I could getting them out because I know every time I go fishing with my grandpa, well, this grass was still here, and that was a big deal to me. So whenever we finally got them all out and the grass started coming back, I see exactly what he's talking about.
But
it's a variety of grass. It's eelgrass.
I know the homeowners is fighting it, though. I mean, and I can understand that being a homeowner.
If you're a property owner, I mean, I live here on the lake. I live on Sibley. You know, I guess if my pocket was cut off but being a bass fisherman, I probably wouldn't say much.
Is it starting? I mean, are we starting to? Is people trying to get rid of it again?
Exactly. Yeah. There's a lot of word going around that. I mean, they're doing some control spraying, but my advice to a homeowner would be spray around your dock, anywhere you might go. I mean, grass is not bothering you if you're riding your jet ski in 20 foot of water out in the recreational areas. If you like riding the bank in less than 6 foot of water on a tube, go ahead. I mean, but not only are you worried about the grass in there, you're worried about stumps.
Exactly.
Yeah, but now let me say this. If they leave the grass and the fishing stays this good, we all know what's going to happen, Dusty. There's going to be 300 boats on that lake every day from February through June, and them homeowners don't want that either. So I can see that as well.
There's businesses in Jackson Parish. I mean, they love it. I mean, it's nothing but money. I mean, we had a club from South Louisiana. I mean,
South Louisiana. The 13 and 10 caught on Saturday was a club from Lake Charles.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, they probably bought 30
rooms
teams to that thing, and that's. I mean, I figured it up. I'm thinking $10,000 is what they probably brought that weekend.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, it's $10,000. I mean, businesses love to see it. I personally, I mean, it kind of hurts my soul to pull up to the ramp, but I always try and tell myself I'm different than everybody in this boat ramp.
Now, is there a marina on the lake where, Dusty, like you can get a burger, get ice or snacks or drinks?
Yes, sir. There's a new guy just come in and bought the old Browns Landing out. It's on the northwest part of the lake. It's called Lane's Landing.
Okay.
And then at the dam end, there's a Hooks Marina owned by Benson Bagwell.
Really good burger.
Both super nice places. Burgers, food, hang out. He'll have a band on the weekend. A good spot. I mean, we love it out there. We'll be out there in a couple of years, but I'm telling you, I'm going to do my best to state record within 1 to maybe 3 years.
Yeah, Dusty wants his name beside it. He wants his name on there.
Man, congratulations.
You can write this down. If it's not me, it's going to be somebody else. I hope it's me. I'm going for it.
There you go.
Man, congratulations on a catch of a lifetime. I hope you get you another one. But, man, that's 13 is something a whole lot of people don't get to ever experience. And man, congratulations. Glad we got you on. I'm glad we got we just want to hear how it went down, and I hate you was in the boat by yourself.
Yeah, next time have somebody give you a hug, man. I mean, come on.
Man, if I'd have called you, if you'd have drove all the way down here to give me a hug, that'd have been awesome.
There you go. Hey, man.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me.
Hey, thank you, Dusty.
Yes.
All right. Dusty know me, and he just one of those guys caught the big 13-pounders, one of the 13-pounders that came in last weekend. And again, Kevin, forward-facing sonar. I mean, it was a key to him finding those fish. It's
and
just
that's why I really wanted to. And again, going back to the miniature Sam Rayburn.
Yeah.
Did it not sound like a Sam Rayburn interview right
Got
there?
In the drain.
Pull up first thing, second cast, catch a 13-pounder, and
saw him above the grass.
Caught a 6-pounder right after the 13. That was man, wow. And he says he has another one on. Just as big, almost, maybe another double-digit fish. So,
real quick, we got some tournament results to go over. Let's see here. I've got something right here. I've got let's see, that's one. Here's another one. Louisiana Bass Nation, which just came off Red River. Looks like they had a pretty good turnout. Jamie Lachey won this tournament with 14.64, and he won the boater side. And Charles Major was second with 14.19. Kerry Beard was third with 13.52. Cole Garrett, our good friend of this program, good friend of me and Kevin's. Cole's a great angler, former Bassmaster Classic qualifier from Winfield. Cole was fourth with 13.50. I guess that's Logan Latuso. He was 5th with 13-17. Matt Noble was 6th with 10-79. Ryan Kemp was 7th with 10-60. Blake Sylvester was 8th with 10-22. And Austin Beatty was 9th with 9.94. And 10th place, ran out top 10, was Gene Trahan with 9.40. And again, just Justin Cooper. Justin was fishing this event. He finished 18th in this event.
Step your game up, Coop.
Yep. Yes, Red River. It's a different animal. Adrian James, a good friend of mine. AJ and I roomed together a lot on the road. He finished 11th, one place out of the top 10. He had 9.38. So, and again, on the co-angler side, it was one. Let's see here, David Gumnow. David Gumnow. He had an 8.05.
Steve, not bad for whatever, especially this time of year.
No, it wasn't bad at all.
It's doing better.
It's coming back. It's slow, but it's coming back. You're exactly right.
Okay, so over on Sam Rayburn, the Outlaw Team Series number 2 was this weekend on Saturday. First place, again, Marshall Hughes and Cole Stewart.
Yeah, that's becoming a familiar name.
25.98, a total weight with an 11.46 big fish. Steve, those guys, the hottest team duo on Lake Sam Rayburn right now.
They're on fire.
No doubt about that. Clay Phillips, David Shaw, second place was 23.19. Going on down the line, let's see here. Last place check was 17.33, which was 17th place. 17.33. We had four stringers weighed in over 20 pounds on a miserable Saturday of fishing.
I mean, a very miserable day. And it's just, it was cold.
Yeah.
It was raining.
Windy,
raining. That worst kind of misty rain. It wasn't even pouring. It's just that nasty, misty rain.
I feel for you guys that was out there during that. I had to, the first day of the Brandon Belt was kind of the same way, and it's just miserable. Then we go and shoot over to Toledo Bend, the North Louisiana High School Fishing League. Steve, on Saturday, again, these high school kids out there in that weather.
Yeah.
Stephen, they still caught them. First place was Evan Howe and Drake Wadsworth from North DeSoto, had 1976.
No,
Second place was Jace White and Tanner Williams from Halton, had 1818. And then third place was Pierce Kirshner and Tyler Pope out of Benton with 1635. I mean, kids caught them on a horrible, horrible day of fishing.
Yeah, yeah. Also, Lone Star Bass Trail had their qualifier number 2. They looked like they had about 20 to 25 show up for this one. Looks like let's see here, Baxley and Woodell. They won it with 5 fish, weighed 21.29. Second place was 17.44, 16.31, 14.56. I believe 10th place was 10.99, right at 11 pounds. So Sam Rayburn didn't really show out, but again, with the weather conditions probably like they were, it's probably not the best of days to go out and fish at all with that front coming through and the nasty weather that was out there. So, and also real quick, Major League Fishing, Kevin, Stage 2, Lake Fork. I know you watched some of it. I watched a lot of it.
I did. Again, horrible conditions.
Yes. Had to cancel one day.
Yeah. It was Jones Jr. Alton Jones Jr. won the event on Saturday. It was very, very close. Interesting. It was about a 3-man race there with Dakota Ebert and Jacob Wheeler. All three could have won it at any last minute. Alton Jones Jr. Was able to win it there. You know, there's some different things that played. I know the flat side of crankbait's a big player everywhere now, but you don't hear that a lot on Lake Fork.
No.
And I think they showed that. But another bait that you don't hear a lot about on Lake Fork that really, really caught them was the big spinnerbait Colorado blade
spinnerbait. Made a resurgence over there.
There was a lot of those guys throwing that big spinnerbait.
Yep,
you know, in that 6, 8, 10 foot of water range.
Slow rolling it, yes.
We do a lot of that on Sam Rayburn, but you just don't hear a lot about that going on at Lake Fork up there.
You know, and so many guys are throwing the chatterbaits now. It's kind of taking the place of a spinnerbait bait for a lot of guys, but that's one reason I think the fish, they're not seeing the blade like they used to see it all the time. So
no, they're not.
It could be a bait that, hey, don't be afraid to pick one up every now and then because you might be surprised. But Alton Jones did win it, and it was down to the last second. He was just waiting on Dakota Hebert to catch one. And I'm going to say something about Dakota. That guy's off to a great start.
Yeah.
He's going to have a big year. I'm happy for him. And I know he's a Louisiana guy, but he's living in Brooklyn, Texas, over there at Sam Rayburn, which kind of become his home water. But Dakota's, he's doing really good, and I'm proud for him. Like to see our Louisiana guys do well. Jacob Wheeler finished third in this event. No shocker. Casey Ashley was fourth. Alton Jones Sr., that's pretty good. When the Jones family, which they probably talk to each other and help each other out, dad versus son. But it's on the water, it's very competitive. But both those guys did really well. Between the two of them, they won $130,000. So not a bad weekend for the Jones family.
No, and so the MLF guys turned right back around. They're at Smith Lake this week.
Yes.
Practice yesterday and today.
Yep.
First round of competition starts tomorrow.
And we had a Van Dam, but it wasn't Kevin. Jonathan was seventh in this event. Justin Lucas, a good friend of ours, know Justin extremely well. And another up-and-coming guy that's doing really well, Cole Floyd.
Yeah, Cole's going to do well.
Yeah, he's another up-and-coming one of the young anglers. So also coming up real quick, we'll get to what's coming. March 5th, Kevin, H&W on Toledo Bend this week. That's in North Louisiana, Shreveport tournament trail. It's a very popular tournament trail. Mm-hmm. They'll have 100 to 125 boats in that event. They're actually going out of Converse will be the weigh-in, but they can trailer. So they'll be
that
launching.
North end of Toledo Bend is going to play big.
Yeah.
North end of Toledo Bend will really play on this event because it's got to happen this week.
Yep.
So we talked about a while ago. Bass Champs is this weekend,
Bass
also on
Champs
Sam Rayburn.
Yep.
So with all these tournaments going on, it's going to really. It's got to be happening. That first wave has got to be moving this week. So it's going to be interesting to see with the weights. I think there's going to be a couple really big bass caught this week on all of our local lakes for sure.
And next weekend is a big weekend. Not this coming week, but the next weekend, March 12th and the 13th. Outlaw Team Series on Toledo and the Spino Tire. Look for big weights to come in on those two events.
First time Outlaw Team Series comes to Toledo Bend.
Is it really?
It is the very first time.
Where's he going out of? Is it Cypress?
It's got to be Cypress.
I would think so.
It's got to be Cypress.
Yeah.
But this is the first time they're coming over here. They average around 150 to almost 200 boats on Sam Rayburn. I hate it. I'm not going to be able to fish that event. I would love to support it, especially for Clint and Stacy. But for them coming to Toledo Bend, all of you local Toledo Bend guys that don't fish that event, you need to jump in this one if you can. I myself will be out of town. But this event, we need support. If us Toledo Bend guys want these tournaments coming to Toledo Bend, we have to support them. We have to show up and fish.
Yep.
Hopefully, they'll keep coming back. If we can just get one a year from those Rayburn guys, maybe we can at least get one of those tournaments here. I mean, first place, $10,000.
Yep.
So, it's a big tournament. The very next day is the Spino tournament.
Yep, the Spino tournament. What's that? $20,000 guaranteed first place.
Yeah.
So Randy Spino doing it right. We appreciate Randy and all he does for this event. All the money goes to the Children's Miracle Network. It's divided, I think, in different places. I think in Louisiana, different organizations. But and then March 18th and 19th, all you ABA Solo 150 guys. It's almost here, 18 days away. If you're not registered, you need to get signed up. First tournament's on Texoma. I know I'll be there. There'll be some other locals from this area that will plan on being there. So check it out. Make sure you call ABA. Go to AmericanBassAnglers.com to sign up and register today. March 26th, Dylan Poche, another huge event.
Huge tournament.
Be the 2 weeks after the Spino event. That'd be another. I think we're kind of headed into another full moon about that time.
That'll be the weekend after. I think full moon's around the 19th.
Yeah, I think you're right. So make sure you sign up for that as well. And then March 27th, Bass Champs Mega Bass on Lake Fork. Be out of Lake Fork Marina and Motel.
Will there be some giants caught in that, dude?
Dude. And they need some water. Now, that's another thing I think affected those Major League Fishing.
Yeah,
well, I say it affected them. They caught them still, but the weather was absolutely horrible for those guys when they were there. But the lake's down 6 feet there. Hopefully they'll get some rain and bring that lake back up.
All right, Bass Cash Bash starts today on Toledo Bend,
right there.
Caddo, all of your surrounding lakes. Sam Rayburn's been going on since January 1st.
Yep.
March 1st kicks off all the other lakes, including Toledo Bend. We can go on down the line, Steve, of the lakes.
Hey.
Go on to their website, basscashbash.com. You can see all the lakes. You can get registered, sign up. Don't be that guy. I saw in South Louisiana, it's going on as well already last week.
Oh, yeah.
Steve, there was a guy that caught 2 tags in one day.
Wow.
That's $3,000 he could have won, but he was not registered.
Another guy that is one that Kevin and I both know, Kevin actually helped support him, and Nick LeBrun won. Nick won on Sam Rayburn. He won a tag fish, and he gained $1,500 because he was registered on Bass Cash Bash. And congratulations.
Don't be that guy we have to talk about.
No.
$100 for register for all the lakes.
That's exactly right. A reminder, the next 2 weeks on Mondays, we will be removing our show from Tuesday to Monday. I'm going to be out 1 week. I think James is out another week, so we're trying to make sure we accommodate everybody. And
we got to schedule our Caney Lake trip.
Yeah, we got to schedule our Caney Lake trip. And but anyway, we will be live on Monday for the next 2 weeks at 11:30, same time. And if you'll subscribe when you go to our YouTube channel, you won't have to worry about it because you're going to get a notification that we're on. So make sure you hit the subscribe button when you go to our YouTube channel. James, how many are we short?
We're 25.
25?
We're 25 subs away from hitting that 1,000 sub mark, which is huge. If any of you know anything about the YouTube world, 1,000 subscribers. We've got 40, James, correct me, 40,000 viewed hours watched. 40,000.
40,000 lifetime views.
Yeah, what he said.
40,000
lifetime views for Tackle Talk Live. We've been on the air 2 years.
Not quite 2 years. A year and a half.
First show was January 20th of 2020.
2 years.
Oh, is it?
So a little over 2 years.
Well, I've had more fun than I realized.
2 years, 40,000 hours viewed on Tackle Talk Live. Can't say thank you enough.
No.
Really want to get to that 1,000 subscribers. So make sure to subscribe on our YouTube channel if you can. Steve,
and when you watch it, make sure you share it. That helps us a lot. Share it and let other people know about it.
Bassmaster Classic Week.
Yep.
Nick LeBrun.
It's here.
We're going to bring it home.
It's here. I hope, boy, I'm telling you what, wouldn't that be awesome for Nick LeBrun to win this event? Because a lot of us in this region know Nick personally, and it couldn't happen to a better guy, I promise you.
Yeah.
He's one of the guys I think's got a shot. Jacob Porosnik.
Yeah, former V&M guy. Yep. I love Jacob to death. Me and Jacob's been good friends for a long, long time. Jacob's got a really good shot. He come in 5th at the last Classic on Hartwell. He knows it extremely well. Temperatures are warming.
Yep.
It's going to be an interesting Classic.
Could be a bank fest. Could be a sight fishing.
Honestly, I think you're going to see a little bit of all of it. I think you're going to see shallow. I think you're going to see deep. Docks, I think you're going to see a little bit of all. It's just going to be interesting to see what pattern wins.
Yeah, will Hank Cherry make his be the first guy to ever win 3 in a row? He's a player. It's a shallow body of water. It's a place where they're going to pull up, and the weather's supposed to be really good. So look out for somebody like Hank Cherry, as well as I'll throw a little dark horse, Scott Martin. Do not be afraid to put Scott Martin on your fantasy fishing. You fantasy fishing guys, that'd be a guy you might, because he's doing really well so far early in the season, and that momentum carries over in these events.
Brandon Cobb,
Cobb is right there. He's probably the number 1 favorite in this event as of right now, but should be a great event. I'll be tuned in. Make sure you tune in. Bassmaster. That's the greatest thing that's ever come out, Kevin. Is Bassmaster Live or MLF Live. I'm telling you, you're watching it as it's happening. It just don't get no better than that. So, but anyhow,
I think that does it.
That's going to wrap us up for today. We appreciate each and every one of you. Again, thank you for tuning us in. Check us out on Facebook Live, or Facebook, Spotify, Instagram, podcast. And again, if you want to become a member or one of our sponsorship team members, we'd love to have you. Check us out. Send us a message on Facebook. Kevin will make sure he gets a packet out to you detailing all that we're going to offer you for that. And we appreciate each and every one of you. So for Kevin Jean, our producer James Stanfield, yours truly, Steve Graff, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week on Monday with more Tackle Talk Live.